He said, Patches, I'm depending on your son to pull the family through. My son, it's all left up to you.
We're on the bus. Oh, and I feel very hot. It's hot out there today. It's not like super summer heat, but it's like hot considering it's 70 degrees and it's been in the like 30s and 40s and 20s. It's pretty hot out there. Got a little heat stroke. Whew. So hot. It's not even cold on this bus. Move his tail. He's so big that even when he's all the way in there, his tail is still out here. And that dog is not a suicide. Leave it. We'll leave it. Good boy. Good boy. It's called a gentle leader. Yeah.
Where do you get that? Petco?
Yeah, any pet store sells it. Good boy. Good watching these. Thank you. Not leave it. Good boy. Thank you. Look at the good watch me. Boy. Say cheese. That's the funniest picture, Patches. Oh. I dismissed him for the most part, so that's why he's not healing. But yeah, so there was a dog trying to get him on the bus. I didn't show him because I don't do stuff like that. And maybe it was a real service dog or a service dog in training. It didn't have a vest on. I know service dogs don't have to have a vest, blah, blah, blah. But it just always panics me when there's a dog trying to get to mine. And trust me, mine didn't always ignore dogs, but it just always panics me, especially when it's a bigger dog and it's trying to lunge at mine. And there was, you know, on a bus, there's nowhere you can go. There's nothing you can do about it. So it startled me. He didn't have treats on the dog. My dog did when we first started bus training. Every time the bus stopped, he'd get up because he thought we were leaving. He had to learn to stay down until we got off. That's typical for learning how to take a bus, I feel like, with a service dog. But I did make sure he was really pretty well with other dogs first, that he ignored them good, because I knew on a bus there's nothing you can do if your dog's reactive to dogs, or if your dog, not, he wasn't reactive, but you know what I mean. If they were distracted by him and wanted to play, there's nothing you can do on a bus. I didn't want him distracting other service dogs. So I did make sure that he was really, really good at leaving dogs before we started bus training. The handler didn't have any treats on him. He wasn't treating his dog. He was like, yeah, I have to push him under this chair all the time. I'm like, he should know a tuck before he's on a bus. I mean, that should be like one of the first things he learns is how to tuck. He was like kicking him under and like really hard, not like, you know, not calmly saying under and then like, you know, luring him under with a tree or slowly sliding him with your feet, because I have done that, but not hard. He was like kicking his dog under the seat. He commanded his dog to like sit and stuff, and he didn't. So again, he's off, so that's why he's off. But he did excellent when we left the bus. The dog was still there, ignored it perfectly. He normally leads me to the exit on the bus, which I don't mind, because with the short aisles, it's kind of hard to have him healing, and so I normally just have him find me the exit so that way he can get in front of me and lead me out. So he did excellent with the distraction. And again, maybe it was a service dog in training. It's just, I feel like for buses, your dog should ignore dogs really well first, because there is nothing you can do, and that's why I panicked. I was like, that's not a service dog. because it is a panic when this happens, but I don't know. Obviously, I don't like calling dogs fake unless they're really aggressive at him. But which wasn't aggressive, it just wanted to play, so maybe it was a puppy in training, but it was scary. And that's how come I immediately jumped to the conclusion it must be fake. But we're here now, so that's probably actually going to be my vlog. Maybe I'll add more, but I'll do my outro just in case. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all things, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys. I was just, I didn't film it the other way. I'm going to have to, I don't know. I know I already did my outro. This is just going to be like, I'm going to just put this in at the end of my video. I was editing and I realized I didn't really say everything correctly, but after thinking about it and stuff, I realized that dog wasn't a service dog. You know me, I don't really like to call dogs, fake unless they're actively aggressive, which his dog wasn't aggressive, at least. It was trying to play with Patches. I mean, that was obvious he wanted to play, but I wouldn't say it was like an aggressive trying to get to him or lunging at him aggressively. I would say he just was trying to play with him. He was being a pet. But the way his handler was kicking him under the seat and stuff, I realized since then that that wasn't a service dog and that I give a little too much benefit of the doubt to people sometimes, because no one's gonna, you know, kick their service dog under a seat. That's just not okay. I mean, it's not okay to do with a pet. That's not okay to do with a service dog. He didn't have a vest on, but the owner did say that his dog was a service dog. And even the bus driver asked him if it was a service dog. I don't think he asked what tasks it was doing. But he did ask if it was a service dog, so he did say yes. So he was still posing him as one, and he came back from Safeway with like a bunch of groceries, so it was clear that he had had that dog in a store and stuff. That dog didn't know how to heel. It didn't even sit when it was told. It was definitely not a service dog, not a trained service dog. By all means. I almost wish I didn't tell him where to get a gentle leader, because people like that will misuse things like a gentle leader. You know, he'll hold it tight and stuff like that. So I almost wish I didn't tell him where to get it, but in the heat of the moment, I just get so panicky that I do. So I did. But I almost wish I would have just said, I don't know where I got that. It was a gift or something, you know. He probably would have figured it out anyway, though. I mean, they're kind of easy to find. But yeah, so I do give people... our bus system, too, isn't pet-friendly. It's only service dogs. I've heard people online say that their city buses, you can have dogs. Ours isn't like that. Ours is service dogs only. Or they do allow small dogs, but they have to be in kennels. And there's like a certain like weight limit on it. And they do have to be able to fit in a kennel and be carried. So pets, obviously, not talking about service dogs. But yeah, so after watching that a little, I was like, I didn't really explain everything properly. So I just wanted to kind of come in and say that, yeah, that dog really was a fake service dog. He wasn't real. He wasn't trained. Patches ignored it perfectly. When we got off the bus, he just walked by it. I mean, we were able to get out at the door closest to us, so thankfully I didn't have to take him by a strange dog that was definitely being reactive towards Patches, or, you know, wanting to play with Patches. So I was really thankful that there was actually a door right there that we could just pop out of, but Patches did it, no problems. He's become a really, really good dog. So yeah, I just wanted to come in and say that. There was something else I was going to say, but I keep forgetting it. Brain fog, and can't remember anything. So I don't remember what else I was going to say, but yeah, I think that was the gist of it. Patches is a good boy and handles things. The other thing, because I know I was kind of talking about his dog and my dog, and it kind of got mixed up. Before you take, and this is just kind of advice to anyone with a service dog, before you take them to do bus training, make sure they are not reactive, or I guess it would be called reactive, because that's what they want to do, even if it's not aggressive, reactive, even if it's just wanting to play. I guess that's kind of what it is. But make sure they aren't, that they're kind of, they can walk past dogs, no problem, because when you're in a small place like a bus, it is scary to have even, you know, someone's dog who you don't know whether their bus says in training or not, to be trying to get to yours, because on a bus, there's nothing you can do about it. If that dog gets loose, there's nowhere you can go, and that's why it scared me, and that's why when that happens on a bus, I immediately go, that's not a service dog, because it scares me to have, even if I know that they're just trying to play, it just startles me, it scares me. I don't like random dogs trying to get to mine. I don't think anyone would. So even if your service dog is real, they need to be able to be at a pet store. That would be a good example. Be working at a pet store or at like, Home Depot or at the park or somewhere where there's other dogs and be able to ignore them fine. He knows there's the off-leash park that we go to almost daily, and he knows that's the one place he gets to play with dogs. Anywhere else he knows he's not allowed to, so he ignores them perfectly. He doesn't even want to play with them. He knows that the park is the one place he gets to play with them. But yeah, so that would be my advice to anyone who wants to do bus training, even with a real service dog. And make sure you have treats. It looked like his dog either was really poorly trained, probably that, or that it was like one of his first times on a bus, which I understand. Again, my dog did not stay down the whole time on the bus the first time. He wasn't reactive towards other dogs, like I've said, but he didn't stay down the entire time. Every time it stopped, he wanted to get off. But I had plenty of treats, so I could rapidly treat him, so that way he could learn, okay, I need to stay down, I need to stay down, I need to stay down. It's like anything else. I stay down until mom releases me to get up. And so you do make sure you have treats, and he didn't have any treats on him at all. He wasn't treating his dog, he wasn't praising his dog, he was literally kicking him under a seat. When he told his dog to sit, he wouldn't even sit at first. So, I'm sorry, but I don't think that was a service dog. Anyway, this is already 6 minutes long, but I just wanted to kind of come in and say that, I do give people the benefit of the doubt a little too much. After thinking about it and after looking back at the videos and the clips, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't a service dog at all. It wasn't even in training. If it was in training, then first of all, the handler should have had that clearly stated on a vest, because my state does recognize service dog in training. Patches was almost done with his training when I took him on buses, and this is why I needed to make sure he wasn't distracted by people or dogs, and that he was good with his tucks, and that he was good with his distraction training. I needed to make sure he was good with all these things. That's how come that was literally that was the last thing he had to work on before I removed his service dog and training patch, was buses. He was completely trained, but I needed to work on buses. So that should, in my opinion, be one of the last things you do with the service dog, because there is, it seems simple, but it's not. There's a lot of weird noises. If there's another dog on the bus, then there's another dog on the bus, so they have to be able to ignore it perfectly. And yes, those 5-pound barky dogs come on the bus, and those even big dogs. Lately I've seen big dogs who definitely are not service dogs, which I never really had any problems with until like a couple months ago. So I don't know what it is, but lately I've seen a lot of big dogs that are untrained and not trained. That one aggressive one. So this one wasn't aggressive, at least, and I realized he wasn't aggressive. I knew he just wanted to play, but it's just scary on a bus because there's nothing you can do. If that dog got loose and came after mine, even just to play, there's nothing you can do on a bus. So, you can't jump out a window. And so it really does scare me on buses when untrained dog. There was another big dog on the bus too, a while back, who was that one was even aggressive. So it scares me to have untrained and aggressive or even just playful dogs on the bus, because it's a small space. In a store you can kind of turn around and go the other way really fast. On a bus, there's literally nothing you can do about it. Most of the bus drivers, I was actually surprised they let them stay on the bus though, because most of the bus drivers here know the laws. Like, I've been asked multiple times, is that a service dog? I haven't been asked what his tasks are, and I think that's where they're failing. I think the only thing they say is that a service dog? And then allow the person on the bus, because I don't think I've ever been asked his tasks on a bus, but I have been asked, is that a service dog? So they know the laws, most of them, and most of them abide by it, because they have had attacks and stuff on buses. It's kind of a scary place almost to be with a service dog, that I find. I find there's more fakes on a bus than anywhere else, in my opinion. Like, literally, there's more fakes I've seen on a bus than I've seen in Walmart. Like, they're horrible for that. And yeah, and I know what it is too. It's that, you know, people can't drive and get pets, and so they can't take them to the vet and stuff because they can't drive. Although this one, this dog that I saw, he was clearly passing him off as a service dog because he was even took him like on a big shopping trip and stuff. Yes, this is a laptop. No, it does not edit. I know I always say my laptop doesn't edit. I know I'm eventually gonna get comments. Well, you have a laptop. This one does not work for editing, so that's why I don't use it. It's literally just good for looking at YouTube videos. But anyway, so this is already a 10-minute clip almost. But I just wanted to come in and say that when my lungs hurt and my health is bad, then I don't really say everything like I'm supposed to, especially when I've been, you know, moving around a lot. I really don't feel good. So yeah, so those are kind of my tips for taking a service dog on the bus, though, is, I should make a whole video about that. You know, I will. I'll probably film that right now, so it'll probably be really crappy quality. But yeah, that's that. So